Well, hello, boys and girls. I'm back. This time, I've got another beautiful, beautiful story for you. Long, long time ago, well, 20 years ago, a young lad starting out in school wanted to be a doctor, so he started tracing his steps and doing all of the exams and all of the studying and everything like that. And once he got his qualifications, decided that he didn't want to be a doctor. He wanted to start selling drugs instead. So, he wanted to become a chemist, really, which is what he did. He carried on with his studies. And then all of a sudden, one morning, he woke up, and it was as though the Lord had tapped him on the shoulder and he said, "You will be a priest." And he went to tell his mum and dad that he was no longer going to be running drugs and whatever, but he was going to be a servant of the Lord. And at first, of course, the parents were just that little bit disappointed that their incredibly intelligent son wasn't going to follow what was their passion for him, not his own. Now, he then went back, he went into the seminary and he studied for 7 years and he became a young priest. And this Bible here, this is our project for today. It's all tattered, case is falling apart, it's been much loved, now needs a little bit of a kiss, a little bit of a hug, and that's where I come in. Now, 3 years ago, I met Pascal at our parish church. He was a young priest who was about to celebrate his first ever marriage ceremony, and a young couple who've become very good friends of ours since then. And I was serving and I was the MC for the Mass, and our parish priest wasn't available, so he'd asked me if I would just guide Pascal through, which I duly did. During the Mass, I saw something very, very special in him. Sidetrack, my wife and I were arranging for a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, and the priest who we thought we were going to be taking with us suddenly become unavailable because of his change of his study routine. After the wedding, I went down off the side and Pascal was chatting with the bride and groom. And when he came back into the sacristy, I said to him, "My wife and I are taking a trip to the Holy Land. Would you like to become our spiritual leader? Would you like to come with us?" Expecting a yes or a, well, let me look at my diary, or I'm not sure. What I got from him with the greatest levels of enthusiasm was, "Can I bring my parents?" And he's lurched forward with his hands out. "Can I bring my parents?" His very first thoughts wasn't for his own good. It wasn't, "Oh my dear, what am I letting myself in for?" He wanted to enable his parents to walk in the footsteps of Christ, to go to Israel, to go to Bethlehem, to Nazareth, to Jerusalem, to Cana, to Mount of Temptation, Mount of Olives, the Chapel of the Annunciation, where Mary was told by Gabriel that she was to conceive the Son of Man, to renew baptismal vows, to renew wedding vows, to float around in the Dead Sea and the Sea of Galilee and all sorts. We opened a door for him, and before the end of that day he'd spoken with his mum and dad, and his mum and dad were suddenly really, really excited. This Bible was in Pascal's suitcase, and it came with him to the Holy Land. And every day I saw him reading from it. And every day he was basing his homilies and his explanations, along with our fabulous guide, as to what every day meant. So last weekend we had a big event at the parish, inviting the youth to become more involved in the various different parish and deanery activities. And I saw this on the table in the sacristy, and I just looked at it, and Pascal looked at me and he said, "You're looking for a project, aren't you?" and I said, it's in even worse state now than it was when I first saw it in Jerusalem. Hang on, you've gone dark on me. There you go. So he said, yes, please, Chris. And I said, how would you like it done? And he said, do the best job you could possibly do. So this is what we're setting out to do today. I'm going to be taking the case off, which is just basically falling apart. The text block itself is in very, very good condition, but it just needs a new case. So what I'm going to be doing for him, under the supervision of my sort of squirrel nutkin here, and he's decided he definitely wants to sit and watch, I'm going to create a new beautiful leather case for the book using this pelt of Nappa leather. It's very, very dark blue. I'm going to be recreating the title, the headings and everything on the front here. Use the existing case. I'm just going to detach it. I'm going to stabilize it, stabilize the text block. There's a few pages which are sort of bent and buckled, so I shall be stabilizing those as well. Put new headbands in, I'll put new ribbons in because they need it. New spine, new hinges, new end sheets. Already cut the mull, you've seen me use the mull. These are the headbands which I'm going to be putting in. Okay, my end sheets are already cut. So yeah, let's sit back and enjoy it. I'm going to press the pause button in a minute and I'm going to have a little bit of my cheese roll. See you in a moment. Okay, even Hollywood stars have to eat sometimes. So, first job is to detach the bookcase itself. Very sharp craft knife. And just run it down and take it off. I'm going to have to create a new spine, new hinges. Okay, immediately obvious that they are completely split. This one's stuck on with parcel tape. Okay, so I'm going to go through the back on this one. Fairly simple process. Now that I can see where my damaged spine is, damaged hinge rather. Okay. Okay, so that board has come away altogether, so I have to tidy that up in a moment. And looking at it, when you say that, my immediate thoughts is all of this primary here is loose, so I shall take that off. All this is several layers of paper which have been stuck in the same way that you've seen me do it with the other books. But I've got underneath the mull, lifted that off. I'm going to separate the ribbons, and this is basically what the inside of the primary or the mull looks like once it's been detached from the book. Okay, that just goes into the bin. So looking at it, a few more little bits of pronounced primary, I can just pick that off, and that looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any fractures or any fissures within the spine itself. That's good. So a little bit of tidy up, put that into the press, add the new end sheets, new mull, new headbands. The ribbons, I think I'm going to change for him and put something neat, put something nice in. But I'm going to leave those in the pages where they are, so that when I come to reassemble the book, I know what pages he had set them on. So I'm going to put that to one side just for a moment. You okay there, Squirrel Nutkin? Yeah, good. I knew you would be. Okay, so sellotape the good old standby sellotape, the parcel tape, under which there are 3 or 4 more layers of sellotape. So just ease those off. So I need to be able to get the measurements of the hinges back to how it was before. And bearing in mind I'm covering this bookboard with the leather. Pascal has another one of these motifs which he is going to be able to put into place. But that's pretty much what I need to do with this. There's some rubbish on the back. Does mean that I'm going to be able to reuse this spine board. I'm not going to have to manufacture a new one, which is good, because then my measurements will be a lot more accurate. Need to tidy up these little trimmings. Can you see those there? Just need to tidy those up with my craft knife. Trying not to slice my finger open like I did with a previous book. That would have made good YouTube video, but I decided, bearing in mind that YouTube do not like the sight of blood, I decided not to put that in. Let's turn you back on me a little bit. There we go. Okay. So that's that one done. We do the same with the other. Now this one has got this little bit of a hinge of paper on here. Okay, can you see that? Don't need that on there. So using the craft knife, making a positive, confident cut. That bit can go in the bin. That was just the hinge created by the original end sheet. And again, just trim the rubbish off. There we go. And let's just take that bit of parcel tape off. And that is the preparation of the bookboard complete. I will just tidy up this spine board. Doesn't need much, just needs a nice tidy edge. Doesn't want to come off, so turn it up the other way. Tidy those 2 folds up. I can recreate those with the headband. It's just going to look untidy if I leave it there. So okay, so that's the pieces ready. And I can put those to one side. I can put the rubbish in there. I can have a little bite of my cheese roll. I can see if you're still with me. Yeah, it's wonderful. Now we can move on to stabilising the text spot. So the back is fine. I'm just going to take that off. Again, being very careful, keeping my fingers out of the way. Laying the knife flat on the page, as you can see, and just running the blade down at an angle. And that gives me a nice sharp. All of these buckle pages I'll be able to deal with in a little while. So let's bring my ribbon drawer down and see what colour ribbons we're going to give Pascal, shall we? Take you down just a fraction. Now, he's got yellow and black in. So there's the black. And the nearest I've got to yellow is this gold. It's just about the perfect length. So I need 2 inches into the book, and I need 2 inches below the book. and cut. And go back. And again with these, let's use them as templates. Use the black as the template. Pull them down. And then, as you can see, I use the black as a template. And those odd bits aren't worth saving. So they're ready to go in. Scissors put out of the way. Cheese roll put into my mouth. So it's at this stage where I am going to lay the replacement ribbons into the pages that Pascal has already got set out. With the yellow replacing, or the gold replacing the yellow. And it's actually a green. Have I got the green? Yes, I've got a green. So instead of black, no, I'm going to use black. So it seems a shame in wasting ribbon because that's not cheap. So put the black in where the green was, and they can go. And I'll go more towards the front of the book to put the red in, like that, and then we're like that. And then what I need to do with my end sheets, there we go, need to get my glue out with my tipping brush. Okay, so basically it's a flat edged brush, comes to a nice point, making sure that I have these pages orientated correctly, because last time around you'll remember I stuck one page on the wrong way, and it does make you look a bit foolish on video. So just run that into there like that, a nice bead of glue. And double checking. And then being very precise, top corner to top corner, run that in, and with a bone folder just gently tease that into place. The bone folder has got a point at one end and it's got a curved flat section at the other end. Okay, and that's used for flattening the pages and making sure that they're sitting correctly. So once again, making sure that my pages are properly orientated. Too much. Run the bead of glue along the edge. And then double checking, again being very precise. Tell you what, that cheese roll is nice. The freshest of fresh bread rolls from Morrison's, if that's ever possible, and some of their medium cheddar cheese, some utterly butterly spread. Other spreads are available from other supermarkets. And if you're watching Sainsbury's, I expect some commission from you, okay? So making sure that I now have the top of the book where I need it. And I'm going to write T there. We're now ready to put this into the book press and get ready to put the mull and the headbands and glue the ribbons into place properly. So whilst I'm setting that up, I'll let you go and make a cup of tea or make a coffee or something like that. Okay guys, I'm back. Can you see me? Can you see what I'm doing with the book? That looks to be okay. Right. trying to suck in my tummy because it's taking up too much room in the lens. So we're pretty much ready now to mount the mull. Hang on. 7 Up, can't beat it. Got my headbands ready to go. Got my mull ready to go. And that will just curve over there like that. I'm going to put the ribbons in place first, so that they're bedded in underneath the mull. Okay, using the wrong brush really, I should be using the ball brush, but never mind. Okay, so the first one is in. Second one is in. And in. Third one is in. Okay, just gently tease it into place with the bone folder. As I said, it's got a pointy end as well, which comes in useful with these functions. Take the glue off. Switch to the ball brush, be easier. And then just put down a layer of the adhesive. Again, I'm using the EVA bookbinding adhesive from Shepherd's Bookbinders in West London, not far from Victoria. Very, very good. Very, very good adhesives. Very, very good adhesives. So I need my lid. Stay there, behave yourself. God dear. So gently ease the mull into place. Need to cut about 1/2 centimetre off it. It's bin lorry day today. We've got another one going past. Very good service around here. Very good service. We get collections every week, both the recycle and the general waste. Good bunch of guys. Always have a laugh and a joke with them. So laying down. You know what I have forgot to make? I forgot to make the primary. The actual paper that goes on here. But never mind. So next bit to go on are the headbands. Just place those in there. Just tease them in. You can either use your thumbs or you can use the bone folder. And these just give it a nice decorative look. And what I do, I just, with the bone folder going at a slight angle, so about 45 degrees, I just like to tap them into place. And that helps for them to absorb the glue. So I'm just going to put that there for a second. Get this lot out of the way because I need to cut myself a length of A3. To the width, which I think was 23, 22, so I'll make it 21.5. And we'll need this to create the spine. Long ruler. Taking my time. Slice along. That's rubbish. That's rubbish. So let me show you what we need that for. Bring that back in. Just freshen up the glue. Putting a a bit along the back of the headbands. Just freshen the glue up a little bit, as I say. And then this helps to create the strength of the spine of the book. Just rub it in, making sure you emphasize the crease at the back of the headband. Decoratively, that will become quite important in a minute. And then we just make up layers of glue, paper, glue, paper, glue, paper. Okay. So you fold it over, making sure your back edges are exactly the same. Precision here is quite important, otherwise the book won't sit properly in the case. And some more glue. Fold that over. Doesn't necessarily have to be any special paper that you use. You don't have to spend fortunes in spine paper in your local bookbinding shop, much as they would like you to do so. But normal, commercial, over-the-shelf paper, either A4 or in this case A5 because of A3 because of the size of the book. And you just fold in this case I'm going to do 5 layers. That's number 4. Because if you make this too thick, then the original bookcase won't fit. So with this being the last one, I'm just rounding that over. Pinch that in. Yeah, I'll bring it back to my side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, bring it back. Just round the edge over and then pinching between, let's make sure you can see me, pinching between thumb, forefinger and forefinger, and just peel this page back, and it gives you a nice accurate tear line across there, and then you just round that over. That can now sit in the press for a couple of hours whilst the glue cures. Okay, and that is phase 1 done, and I can have a celebratory slurp of 7-Up. Okay guys, welcome back. As if by magic, and I think it was probably Squirrel Nutkin who did this, I've been able to get ready with this beautiful, beautiful leather skin. Okay, let me slide you right down so you can have a look at this beautiful leather skin. It's called Nappa leather. Basically, it's, from what I understand, it's the leather taken from very young animals, very young calves. Okay, it's dyed. And it's cured in a specific way, and it is just so beautifully soft to touch, but it is quite resilient. What I'm now looking for is the best area within the book for me to create my bookcase. And looking at it, I've already got a decent straight line here, so I'm going to make this my bottom edge. Okay, so trim off this piece of waste. probably going to be big enough to make a little pouch of some sort out of, so that can go back into the drawer. Okay. As if by magic, I'm back. And as if by magic, I'm going to make sure I've got a straighter and tidier edge on that. Okay, because that really wasn't good enough. So now that I've got perfectly straight and tidy edges, I'm going to start measuring my folds. If I was using buckram, I'd be going with 2 centimeters. Okay, so 2 centimeters in from there. But because I'm using leather and the fold is thicker, I'm going to go to 2.5 centimeters. And 2.5 centimeters. And then a straight line. I'm using a pen as opposed to a pencil because that stands out better. And then from the bottom, I'm going to go 2.5 centimeters. And go to the far end, 2.5 centimeters. Then with my long ruler, line right across, and that gives me the bottom fold. And then this is where I bring in the books. Okay, so this is the back of the book. So as you can see, as that folds over, it gives me that short fold. Can you see that? Okay, gives me a nice balanced fold all the way across the book. Take that into consideration when you are actually marking up your book. And then I run along the top of the book. Okay, and then I run down the inside of the book like that to find the start of my hinge. Now, again, with buckram, I would allow a 6mm section here to act as the hinge in the book, but because it's leather, I'm going to go to 8. And then I'll draw my line. Okay, and then I bring in my spine board, okay, and I lay that into place. Make sure it's along the line, and a couple of marks, and then I go up. You can measure it, of course, if you wanted to, but because we've got the original pieces and they're in good enough shape, we can trust them. Okay, so again, now I need to create my hinge. So I measure in another 8mm. And then I put my line way down. And then I bring in my other book board, and that's why I cleaned these edges off. You remember right at the start I cleaned these edges off so that it gives me an accurate measurement. So I lay that in, making sure my corners are perfect and the bottom sitting directly on the line, and then tidy that up, tidy that up, and then go back down it with the straight edge just to make absolutely sure that they're crisp. Okay, and then, as I said, I went 2.5 centimeters here. I replicate that over there for the outer fold. Mark in my line. And then what I do from the top of the book, I go another 2.5 for the top fold. Switch rulers. You do need to be quite precise with these, because if you don't get it square and you forget one of these folds, you look an absolute bloody pillock at the end of the procedure. Okay, so I now know that this area that I've marked out, when cut, will be the right size to fold in to make my book. Okay, so using a very sharp knife, and being careful to keep my fingers well out of the way, because this thing will quite adequately amputate a finger. Don't like blunt knives, they're dangerous. Okay. See where we attached, right in the very corner. So take away my surplus, and again that will be used for making some purses or something like that. We're now ready for the next step, which is shaving. Right, let's bring it right in nice and close. Right in nice and close. There we go. What I need to now do is, from here, I need to shave the leather down to make the folds sit neater within the book itself. Okay, so without cutting through, I'm using this Chinese leather shaving knife. Got a nice beautiful bone handle on it, and I'm just basically shaving down the edges. This process with this piece of leather could take an hour, maybe more. Just give you a general idea what's going on, and then I'll turn you off and bring you back in when I'm finished with the process. Right, so boys and girls, nearly done. Last little bit, trim off a couple of these little waifs and strays. Yep, just down onto there. Okay. Right, so never ever put your blade away blunt. Always make sure that if you need to pick it up in a hurry, you can do. And always make sure that that is put out of the way so that the kids can't play with it, because it is lethally sharp. Okay, so we got all of these edges thinned down now, so we're pretty much ready. It's really important that you get rid of any of the shavings, because if they come between the leather and the book board, you will never ever get them smooth again. The book board will always show it. Okay, so same thing, make sure you clean your boards. If you blow too often, you become lightheaded. Okay? So don't blow too often. So what I'm now looking for is any little loose bits of tape or loose bits of card, which might again become visible once you've mounted your boards. They look alright. Yeah, they're all sort of dog-eared and tattered, but you're just about to wrap them up in a nice new leather coat and making sure that everything is the right size. String, where's my string? Marissa's used all of my string. That could be a problem. Crisis averted. 47 minutes left. Okay. So basically what happens is I cut a piece into there, and when I fold the leather over, it reinforces the fold. Okay? So all will become very obvious in country moment. So I need one for the top, and I need one for the bottom. Okay, so they will get glued in there. Get out the water, you silly piece of string. Okay, so they'll get glued in top and bottom like that. Okay, now I'm ready to get the glue out. So we'll use the ball brush, shake off the water, dry it out in some kitchen tissue. Okay. Yeah, I've got a box open already. How about that? Okay. There you go. This is wax paper. Okay. This is what we got. The adhesive will not stick to it. You use it to protect your work area. You use it to protect pages, the whole book and all of that sort of thing. Okay. Pull up my trousers so my arse ain't showing. I've got the worst builder's arse you've ever seen. Girls think it's nice, but really it's not all it's cracked up to be. So put these bits out of the way for the time being, because I only need this one. They tried to go for a walk. Then we're just making sure that this is clean and free from dust and rubbish and all sorts. And then making sure you've got a clean and safe working environment, okay? Because it's time to start pasting leather. It's the same EVA adhesive. Okay. You can afford to put plenty on because the leather will absorb plenty. Okay. No gaps, no air pockets. Making sure that your lines are covered. And then line your corners up. This is critical that you get this right, because you have not got much playroom and you've not got much play time. As you can see, it's already curing. Okay. Press it down, move your brush out of the way. Turn this over and using your bone folder, you just gently massage any air pockets out of the way. And for sizing your edges, just using the bone folder flat. At this stage you're not turning the bone folder end on, you're using your bone folder flat, okay? Because if you do turn it end on, you will end up with horrible, irreparable creases in your leather. Okay, that's part one. So you've turned your leather upside down, so you need to turn your bookboard upside down. Okay, you really only have a few seconds from the moment it comes in contact with the board to the time it sets. Stays malleable and pliable until you put your board on, and then it sets certainly within 10 to 15 seconds it sets. So you've got no wriggle room. Has to be right first time up. Okay, so again, making sure your board is now upside down, lining up on your middle corners. Just gently easing it back and in, and then once again turn it over using your flat bone folder. Gently go around the edges. Okay, and that will help to draw the leather towards the edges. And can't stress it enough, use your flat bone folder, not the points. Okay, okay, and turn it back round again. Okay, this is where your spine board goes in. Again, make sure you've got no loose fragments sticking out anywhere. Okay, staying well within the lines. Okay. Okay, so making sure that that's the top. There we go. Now, because I'm not working the leather, I'm working the board itself, I can use the end piece. Next bit I'm going to be doing, just a little bit of adhesive top and bottom for your roll strips. Okay, just press it into place. Okay, so that will give you a lovely, because the spine board is thinner than the book boards, so you want your overall fold to be perfect all the way across, and that's pretty much what I've done there. Okay, so we'll give that a couple of seconds whilst I have a slurp of 7-Up. Other cold drinks are available. What do you think? Hey, Squirrel, what do you think? Good? You like it? Yes, Grandpa. What do you think? Very nice. Yes, very nice, Grandpa. When Marissa was here, we used to play with all of these little toys, and she used to get me to almost be a ventriloquist. We used to have lots and lots of fun, different voices with each of her different toys, and yeah, it used to make them come alive. And when she was very, very young, she used to believe that the toys were talking because the heads were moving and the arms were waving. It was great fun. It was great fun. Right, so next bit is to generate the corners. Okay, this is where you got to be quite brave. I'm going to put you back a little bit further and switch you back open and make so that I can be seen. Get rid of the dangerous bits. Don't need the pen anymore. Don't need the ruler. Don't need the pencil. The blade can actually go back into its holder and at no risk. So, you ready to be brave? Long scissors. We want a 45-degree angle, but we want to leave maybe 1/2 centimetre on the edge for the fold over, because it can always be trimmed again later. Okay, so you can see that. See what I've left. So we go around each of the 4 corners, doing the same. Better to have too much than not enough. On a few occasions when I've trimmed it too much, taken too much off, and felt like a complete and utter blithering idiot. Okay, because once these are glued in and pinched, just get a really sharp blade and trim these off. Or in this case, I'm going to take a little bit more off. Okay, so now that's going to be a perfect fit. And do the same check on each corner. And because this is such a special book for a very, very special friend, I want to make sure that it is as good as I'm capable of doing. Pascal is young enough to be my son, but I still call him Father, and I'm still very, very privileged to know him. Right, so these offcuts, NFR, no further requirement. Now we're ready to do the folds. Okay. Yep, they're going to be beautiful. They're going to be beautiful. Just tidy this one up a fraction. Oh boy. So, leaving it on the wax paper, still with the ball brush, still being watched by my favourite squirrel Nutkin. I paste along the top, okay, and also to ensure really good connection, I come in by 1/2 centimetre and I make sure that I push the glue right in to the folds. Right in tight, because I want really good connections, and I like to just dab it so that it brings the glue right up. Moment of truth. Pull it up, pull it tight, pull it really tight into the bookboard using your fingers. Okay. Tease it into place using the curved end of the bone folder. Okay. If you need to keep pulling it down a bit, then keep pulling it down a bit. Emphasizing your hinges. Come back onto those in a minute. Okay. And emphasizing your roll at the top here. So you see how that has left the fold all the way along there at exactly the same height. That's what we were hoping for, okay? Stop going dark on me. Turn it round so that you're doing the other end of the book. And again, going from middle to outer with your glue, going right into the folds, right into the folds, and then a little bit, a centimetre onto the bookboard itself, a little bit into the hinge, you don't have to do that, I just find that it helps with the connection. And I always pinch the roll first, because if you drag the roll back on top of the spine board, then it becomes a problem as opposed to an asset. Okay. We had a big storm go through here over the last couple of days. It blew virtually every leaf off of every tree. And when I went out this morning at 6 o'clock to go and unlock the parish, my front yard was just full of leaves. It all gathered in, and boy did it look funny. So there we go, that's good. Right. So now this is where we find out whether or not we measured our corners correctly. So that I can move that away, make room for my big tummy. And here we go. I mean, even if I've got it wrong, there's bugger all I can do about it now. So making sure again that I push it into the fold. And here we go. And would you look at that? If all four joints are as good as that, I'll be very, very happy. Using the bone folder just to draw the edges of the fold together. Thumb and forefinger. Look at those joints. Look at those joints. Oh, I wish I was that good. I was going to say, make sure that you remove any excess glue, but there was none. Okay, last one. Oh my goodness me. It's where you hold your breath, because the whole bookcase can be ruined if you don't get these corners right. And there you have it. Okay, that's the top, and that's the bottom. Okay, so you're not just looking for this bit to be perfect, you're also looking for that right angle of the joint to be spot on as well. Okay, so that's why you have to be so precise when you are measuring out your initial lines. You know how I was saying going in 2.5 centimeters? If you got those right all the way around, then your corners should be as neat and tidy as those are. Okay. I mean, believe me, I have made some absolute goofy guff-ups. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm gently going to define my hinges using the flat edge of the bone folder, and that will have the effect of pushing the glue into place. Okay, I'm doing it quite gently, not putting that much pressure on, bearing in mind the spine board is a lot thinner than the book board, so it's very easy to run out and leave a crease in your book. So ball brush back into the glue, into the water, lid onto the glue, take your wax paper away, store that for your next element of the job, and sit back and say to yourself, you did a good job there, Chris. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, just to give it a little bit more resilience, I'm going to put some of this hinging tape into place. Go from there down to that, and then using a sharp knife, cut it off where it joins the leather, trim that off where it joins the leather, and lift away any surplus. Okay, and what that does is it just stabilizes this little bit of the hinge here. Just tease it into place with the bone folder. Get rid of any air bubbles. Make sure it's all bedded down. And then just do the same thing over the opposite side. It's just a final touch that I like to give it. And then if ever somebody takes the case off again, they can see that you've taken the time and the trouble to do the right thing. Okay. There you go. This stuff works out at about £22 a roll. So it's not something that you would use to wrap up your Christmas presents. Okay. And that, my boys and girls, is the book board, the text block, whatever you want to call it, the book frame finished. So, I'm just curious as to see whether or not the text block fits in the case, and my goodness me, almost looks like I knew what I was doing. That almost looks like I knew what I was doing. Quite honestly, it's a bloody good fit. Right guys, it's about 4 hours later, and what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to rejoin the case tonight. I'm just going to dress these few pages. Turn that down, it's too hot. Okay. So just by pressing these pages with a warm iron, takes the creases out of them. You have to be careful not to get the iron too hot, otherwise it will melt the pages. Okay, so yeah, that's those at the front of the book done. So turn it over and just see if there's any here at the back. And, oh, you haven't met Puppy yet, have you? This is little Puppy. The other one has gone to bed. Here it is. And if you get little corner pages such as this here that you want to straighten out, you just turn them over using a little dental implement like this. And then once you've turned a few over, then you can just press. They don't all have to be done individually. So again, even just the warmth of your fingers can often be enough to put the pages back to where they need to be. Okay, so that's ready. And turn that upside down, put it on there, and put a weight on it just to compress the pages until they've fully cooled down. And that is how you dress pages, to get rid of all of the wrinkles, all of the creases, and to help the book to live again. Must remember to put that back in. Put that back where it was before, so that it doesn't. So, hi guys. Welcome back. It's the next day. It's what? Looking at Mickey Mouse, it says it's 14 minutes past 12. Overnight, the text block has settled in absolutely beautifully. All of the wrinkled pages, no sign of any issues with these pages anymore. All of the folds and everything which I repaired last night, they're all absolutely perfect. So pretty much what we're going to be doing today is rejoining. I'm going to be doing a little bit of gold leafing on the front of the book, then I'm going to be reattaching it to the text block. So I need to get my leafing pen out if I can find it, and hopefully it will turn on, which it has. This poor thing has been on the floor so many times that just the battery compartment doesn't close anymore, and basically it's used for gold leafing. That little nib that you can see there gets very hot. There's several sizes that you can use for whatever purposes, and we have these sheets here of very fine gold leaf, okay, which we will attach to the book using some surgical tape, micropore tape, and just put it on there. You don't press it down too hard. It's not so bad on buckram because it will just peel off. But if you press it too hard into the leather, then there is a risk that it will damage the texture of the leather. You need to get your gold leaf. Hello, dog, what's happened to you? Oh, you poor thing. Did somebody bump your head? You okay? People are going to start thinking I'm mad talking to you like this. Well, you're already mad. Pardon? Okay. He's just told me I'm already mad. I'm going to send you back to your cupboard if you're not careful. Okay, and then using an ordinary mathematics square, I'm going to get the bigger one. Bear with me for a second. That one is not quite big enough. There we go. Wipe the dust off it. And what I'm going to be doing with this, I'm actually going to be embossing the title of the book on here. I'll go from this side. And I need to make sure that I get the spelling absolutely correct. The spelling is, as you can see it there. Can you see that? So that is what I need to replicate. So making sure I'm absolutely perfectly aligned with the edge and working out where my center is. And moving down. And this basically just transposes the gold leaf straight on to the book. So it's D, I, D, A, C, H, E, and then Bible. And even I know how to spell that. Okay. And then hoping that it's transposed itself across properly and that the pen was hot enough. Orange and mango, Robinson's. And then lift it up. Not too bad. Not too bad. And as you can see, it's transposed onto the front of the book. Okay. Now, I might do something nice because it is special to Pascal. I'm going to centralize that from there. And then making sure that I've got it dead center. And it's absolutely right. I'm going to go and then making sure that I am following the lines perfectly. There we have a beautiful crucifix on the back of the book. Oh, you're gone. Where have you gone? Come back. Okay, so a nice beautiful crucifix on the spine. So, one thing you don't ever try to do is if you have removed your template and you find that the gold leaf hasn't gone across properly, never try to put the gold leaf straight back on top because you will never get it centralized. Okay? So that piece is done. That work is done. I can put the micropore away. I can put my pen away. Excuse me, dog. So I'll close the door, make you feel a bit more comfortable. You've got a bit more support there, haven't you? Okay. So we're done with all of that. Move my drink out of the way so that I don't spill it. Oh, fruit loaf. So, you remember, I've shown you in the past what to do as far as reuniting is concerned. Make sure your book is the right way up. Don't do what I did last time. Put the book in upside down and had to rescue it. I did feel rather silly. Make sure that you're perfectly centralised and do a test close. Yeah. Then going back using the good old favourite wax paper. You need one page. Goes in between the two leaves of the end sheet. I'm going to stand up because I just find it a bit easier doing it standing up. Chair can go out of the way. Okay. Where did I put the ball brush? There we go. And then using the ball brush, put a layer of paste underneath the mull. Tap the mull into place and repaste. And then do the rest of the sheet, making sure you get plenty on the edges and the corners. Okay, so I take this out and then I make sure that I recenter my book, and then I get brave. I close that over the top, weight down using the bone folder, and go back to that first page, and I gently smooth out all these wrinkles, taking out any air pockets, making sure that I don't press too hard, because potentially you could bite right through the page and then you've got a problem. Finish off my lines. There we go, and that's the first side done. Using a separate piece of wax paper. Constantly making sure that my work zone is clean. And repeat the process. I've spent the morning finishing off painting the walls down at the parish centre. It's a project I've been doing now for about 5 weeks. Nothing has been painted there for over 24 years, and in fact I think I was the last person to do any decorating down there. But other than a little bit of snagging, I got it finished this morning, so I'm very, very happy. Come back down. That's it. Because there's a flexible spine there, I was having to make sure that I didn't overrun the page. It looks like I've been successful. And again, using the bone folder, just gently teasing out any air bubbles. with such a special book like this, you really don't want to open the back page and just see nothing but streaks and creases. And my OCD won't let me do that sort of a job. Right, so boys and girls, come back so we can go down again. Move that out of the way, and welcome to the newly bound Bible for my very, very dear friend Father Pascal. Now this will go into the press for the rest of the day. Excuse me, dog. Okay, just using the weight of the board. I'm not going to tighten it down. Sit down so that you can see me. Have another slurp. So as I said, that'll stay in the press now for the next, say, overnight. I'll take it out again in the morning. But it's ready to go back now to Pascal for many more years of love. He's had it since he was a very young boy, and he's going to have it into his very old age. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this sort of content. If you do, leave some comments, a nice little like button. If you haven't already subscribed, maybe you could consider doing so. It's kind of you to spend the time watching, and I will see you on the next project. So God bless, and Grandpa Chris signing off.